Okay, so welcome back to some more MXGP Pro. Today I want to go over a setup video. Yes, I'm not like super happy with the setups I have, but I feel like enough people have been asking me that I feel like there's a lot of people struggling out there, and I'm not saying that I'm not struggling, but maybe one of the setups I have will work for you, or at least be a good starting point, and you can adjust from there. I also kind of want to explain the setup on the bike, like what it means, real life application of it, you know what I mean? Like if you don't know anything and you just feel like you're struggling, maybe if I can kind of explain it, that can help you to make it work in the game better for yourself. Okay, so I kind of want to talk about gear ratio a tiny bit before we actually get to my bike setup. You have a front and rear sprocket, okay? So if you have more teeth on your rear sprocket and less teeth on your front sprocket, you're going to have more bottom end. If you have less teeth on your rear sprocket and more teeth on your front sprocket, you're going to have a higher top end. Okay, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. In the game, you have 1450 here at the top. That is your front and rear sprocket. 14 teeth, 50 teeth. If we take that down, we can actually change that in the game, and I'm going to show you as an example going to 1349, which I think that's a pretty stock setting on a stock 250F, kind of similar. I don't know if all of them are like that, but I think that's kind of a stock setting. So 1349, we're going to take that to 1352, which is actually gearing the bike down. Does that make sense? And then you can adjust each individual gear after that. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of weird, but if you don't know anything really and you just bought the game randomly and you're looking for some help, or even if you, I don't know, if you're just struggling, I hope that kind of makes sense and can help you to adjust the gear ratio to what you like and how you play the game. Alright, so here we are with the 3 different bike setups that I'm kind of going back and forth with. I actually have quite a few different bike setups already, but most of them I've kind of abandoned and don't really mess with anymore. These are the 3 that I kind of keep coming back to and then resaving them and then testing it. It all started out with this first setting, I think, and then it just kind of evolved into the other 2. Is basically what happened. Now, keep in mind that the setups that I have are typically for just to try to be able to corner the bike a bit better. It's easier to control the bike to some degree. Now, supposedly with the way I have my bike set up, they're less stable at high speeds, so you might get a little head shake, which is kind of cool because it's realistic enough, and a few other odds and ends. Now, it does talk about like over jumping and under jumping things with the setup. I haven't really noticed too much. I mean, it's just some jumps, no matter what you do, if you over jump them, you're going down. Some jumps, if you over jump them like crazy or whatever, even if they're like a medium-sized jump, it doesn't seem to make too much difference. So also, if I'm going through this kind of fast, because I am, like I said, there's 3 different setups here, just pause the video, copy it down, and then see if it works. And I'm not saying this is going to work for everybody, okay? You can come back in the comments and say, Wind, those setups sucked. They didn't work for me. They're terrible. Well, maybe they are for you, but they kind of work for me. It's just like, if I have my bike set up for me in real life the way I like it, it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to get on that bike and shred. It's not going to feel right for you probably. It's the same in the game. It's a video game, but this is based off of how I play. It takes a lot of throttle control and all kinds of other stuff. Just because you have this setup isn't mean that you're going to be like flying around the track and it's just going to work perfect. A lot of things have to be taken into consideration even with trying these bike setups, you know what I mean? And then with what I'm telling you, and maybe use this as a starting point, it can help you form your own bike setup. That's ultimately the goal of this, is to you try this, and if you absolutely hate it, well then basically just do the exact opposite of what I did. You know what I mean? It kind of helps you to decide what you like and what you can change it into. And then we'll jump into some gameplay using some different bike setups and kind of wrap the video up discussing any opinions we might have on it. Alright, so there you have the bike setups that I've been using, the 3 different ones that I have. Now keep in mind, I haven't played the game that much. I mean, aside from the videos I've done and the one live stream, I really haven't sat down and really grinded the game out to learn it better. I have a general grasp concept of how the game is, but I haven't really grinded. So you know there's guys out there that have really been just really grinding out this game, and I'm sure that they probably have better bike setups and just a better understanding of the game than me. But if you ask me this, okay, let's say in 6 months. In 6 months, if I'm still playing this game, I'm sure that my bike setup would look different than it does right now. It would be maybe just narrowed down to 1 instead of switching back and forth, because I like having 3 like I have now, and then adjusting on all 3 until I find something that works really good, and then singling out that one, that one bike setup and making that my main setup on the bike. But that's if you asked me in 6 months from now. Right now this is the best I got, and I just hope that it can help you. I hope that it can help you decide what you end up liking, even if you don't like the one that I have. And the game itself, people have asked me for past MXGP game setups, Supercross the game setups, and pretty much anything that has a setup in it. People have asked me what mine is. I think people even asked me on MX vs ATV All Out, but I mean, usually they're pretty much the same. This game is much more. It really does. The game is harder. The game is most definitely harder, especially if you're playing in Pro Physics. If you're not playing on Pro Physics and using like the manual transmission and stuff like that, and separating your brakes so you have the brakes aren't together, you can control your front and rear brake, then this setup might not work for you. It's more for someone that is using the Pro Physics, trying to play the game on its highest level of difficulty, if that makes sense. That's at least the plan. That's what I'm going for when I set up the bike. I've actually not even tried the standard physics or the semi-pro physics. I don't know if it's like, I mean, from what I understand, it's just like it was in past MXGP games. I guess I'm just curious, because these Pro Physics, they did a pretty darn good job with them. There's things I'd like to see changed in the game. I've already talked about that. But as far as giving us in-depth to adjust and tune things on the bike, awesome. I mean, I'd love to see more. I'd love to keep seeing things added to the game, but they seem to really have their stuff figured out. But I think that's going to wrap it up. I mean, we already dragged this out way too long for a setup video for MXGP Pro. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Again, thanks for all the support on the channel and this series. And until the next video, take it easy.